Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mr. Fred and Friends. I'm your host, Fred Schultz, and tonight it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to be talking about upcoming events because I've been getting bombarded with upcoming events. It's unreal. I want to start by thanking my guests last week. I had James Howdy McGuffick. I know I blew your name, Howdy. Sorry about that. I blew everybody's name. It's just how it works. And and the girls that I had on, they were just absolutely great. I am looking so much forward to having them back on again. I had let me see if I can pronounce this: Ellison Woodburn, Alicia McAtee, and Jackie. Boy, I'm going to blow this one. D. Rapowski. We're going to let it go at that. Jackie D. All great interviews. Them girls were just absolute terrific, and I'm looking forward to having them back on again because one thing I really like doing is I like spreading it around a little bit about building paintball. You don't build paintball with just the guys, because a lot of ladies are getting into this, and we are welcoming them, very much welcoming them to come in to play paintball. And I got to tell you, some of these ladies absolutely rock big time. They are just absolutely fabulous players. They really, really are. But tonight, I've got I want to talk about some of the events here in the U.S. and in Canada. And I was going to have Steve McGuire on, but he's having some technical problems. So Jeff Thompson's going to sit in with us tonight, and he knows about Wasaga Beach. And so we're going to talk to Jeff a little bit about some of the events that are up in Canada, because I hear Wasaga Beach is just bad to the bone. So I cannot wait to talk to Jeff about that. And then I've got my very, very good friend, Andy Stred on from the LA Remember Foundation. And it's really funny too. I got two people in this whole industry to give me crap about my monologue: Steve McGuire and Andy Stred. Okay. Now I was going to have both these guys on at the same time. So that shows you I got some cojones, huh? I was ready to take them both on. Yeah. Anyhow, I'll get half of the teasing anyhow. Steve will probably pick up on it tomorrow or text me later. And but we're going to talk about some of the things coming up tonight, and there's a few things here, man. We've got the summit. We're going to talk about that Tommy Cole is holding at the Sahara in Las Vegas. That's coming up. Also coming up, the WCPL tournament down at SATCON Village, SC Village, that we had to postpone because everything flooded out down there. And, we're still getting like a lot of rain. I'm thinking about actually going into the ARC business. So, but we'll see what happens. And so anyhow, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Florida tournament coming up. And I always mention, when I talk about WCPL, I always talk about Tim Schloss's place. SATCON SC Village is just awesome. I mean, that's all I can say. You want another awesome field, a place that you can go and it's got such a variety of things to do there, just like SC has, and that's Gateway Paintball. I can never say enough about it. Plus, Tim, I love the guy. What he's done for paintball over the years, and I feel really doesn't get a lot of the respect that I feel that he deserves. Back in the day, he sponsored like a gazillion teams. Now, if you think that's cheap, give it a shot. Go ahead and outfit a team, not multiple teams, but just a team, and then come back and talk to me. You'll see how expensive it is. So anyhow, so we're going to talk to him, and then Damon Fowler's actually got one coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about that, and we've got a few things here, and also Chuck, Mendocino Paintball, mendopaintball.com. They're having a scenario game called Space Paintballs. All righty then. It's in June 14th through the 16th, and it's up in Mendocino, Northern California. So let me get my shout outs real quick, and then we're going to start talking. I'm going to bring Andy out here and Jeff, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of these, these events coming up, because, I love publicizing the events, because even if you don't play, like I always say, even if you don't play, get out there, mingle with everybody. We love having you come out, even if you're not a player. Come out and hang out with us and have a great time. It's good, and it's good for our sport, because a lot of people see more people getting involved, obviously makes more people getting involved, and that's what we're looking to do, is just exactly that. So anyhow, let me get my shout outs real quick so I can bring these guys out here. I start every week with the guy I just talked about for the last 5 minutes, and Andy's in the green room right now, so I'm sure he's timing me right now. He's got a stopwatch in his hand. Oh, jeez. All right, so I'm going to have to hurry through this. Anyhow, Tim Schloss, Tiger Stripe Camouflage. Boom. It was like the best camouflage in the world back in the day, and it's all brand new, the exact same stuff. It's the best camouflage in the world today. Absolutely love it. And the guy behind it is absolutely terrific. As Gateway Paintball, which is the last of the WCPL tournaments this year in St. Louis. And I got to tell you, last year was just a head exploder. It was just so absolutely cool. I mean, it seemed like the industry just turned out for it. We all had a great time. We were all, shooting the bull, and it was just like the old days. And I really, really do love it. It's a big thing about the WCPL. That's what we try to kind of do now. And we're going to talk about the NXL too, which I think is absolutely very cool. So moving right along, then I got Dan and John Colby. Dan owns, him and Steve Prisco own not Gateway Paintball, but they own Panhandle Paintball down there in Florida. And theirs is coming up April 6th and the 7th. So that one's coming up pretty quick also. So you get a chance, you're going to want to head out there to Florida. Dan and Steve got great fields. They've been working on them. It was pretty cool last year. They've been working on them all year. So I think it's even going to be bigger and better this year. So that's pretty cool. April 6th and the 7th. You're going to want to go out there and do it. Then I say hi to my buddy, longtime friend, a guy that I love him and respect him just as much as I do Tim Schloss, and that's Bud Orr. Great guy. These guys, they worked so hard back in the day for paintball, and they are still out there pounding it. So, you get a lot of lip service in paintball. Not just paintball, but everything. But, we noticed it because we're in paintball, right? And everybody goes, oh, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I can do this. Yeah. You know what? And then next thing you know, you don't hear anything about them. These guys have been doing this for 40 years. What? 40 years? Absolutely 40 years. And we're going to talk about the 40-year deal tonight on the show, too, when I bring Andy out. And then I got to say hi to Tom Kay, was my second marker sponsor, Airgun Designs, for many, many years. Rainey and Juvie Boucher, Paintball News. I wish they had paintball news nowadays. You go out to your field 2 times a month, pick that paper up, tell you what just happened, what was coming up, what was going on. It was the Bible of paintball. Absolutely loved it. Very, very cool. And then I got to say hi to Randy Camilla. Randy Camilla, who was editor for APG back in the day, gave me my very, very first cover shot. And Jerry Braun had Paintball Sports back in the day. And Jerry Braun has Paintball Sports Field in Newburgh, New York, which is the third of the WCPL tournaments in June. What a great place to play. One of the oldest fields, if not the oldest woods ball field in the U.S. Very, very cool. Then Ross Alexander, Line SI, was my very first marker sponsor. Terrific guy, still out there pounding it for paintball. And Ross took the time to come down to St. Louis last year, and it was absolutely great. Seeing him was just terrific. What he did for paintball back in the day and still is another great thing. And then Jim Lively, 2 tournaments he wanted to do every year back in the day. Jim Lively's Masters, Jerry Braun's World Cup. They were like family reunions. That's all I can say. They were just great. And that's what the WCPL is trying to bring back right now. And then I got to mention Gino from Velkin. Great guy. I wish I could tell you all the stuff the guy does behind the scenes for paintball. It's absolutely terrific. And then my 2 young guns I mention every week, Jaden Gong and Mark Gong Jr. 2 terrific kids, young guns being brought up. Great little players, but they're bringing them up. Mark Gong is bringing them up the right way. Him and his lovely wife, Lily, they do a terrific job and do a lot for the sport of paintball. So, without further ado, I should probably run a little longer, really give Andy something to talk about, but I'm not going to do it. So please, everybody, welcome a very good man. The guy does an awful lot for paintball behind the scenes and on the scenes. Everybody welcome, please, Mr. Andy Sturrett.
Get in there and he'll put you in the green room. What up? What's happening, Fred?
I got my monologue short for you.
It was only like 12 minutes.
Yeah, I know it. Because I seen you nodding off, and I thought, oh man, I better hurry.
No, I wasn't nodding off. I was talking to Dylan. You should see him showing up in the green room here in a minute.
Oh, there we go.
And
well, we got Jeff Thompson on tonight too, because we were going to have Steve McGuire on, because, I want to talk about, some of the Canadian stuff up there also, because there's a great field up there, and there's a lot of great Canadian events up there too, and you know how I am. I like building paintball. I don't care where it is, and I don't care who's doing it. As long as it's good for the sport, I'm all in, period, cut and dry. So, what do you say we first, let me bring out my little buddy from up there in Canada,
Your little buddy, that you mean our teammate from the band?
Yes, of course he's a band. Yeah, he's a band teammate. I know. Yeah, yes he is. Yes he is. Please, everybody, welcome Mr. Jeff Thompson. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey guys, what's happening?
All hail the Booney Boys.
Yeah, the Booney Boys.
All hail the Booney Boys.
Hey, I appreciate you jumping in instead of taking over Steve's place. He had a little technical problems tonight, and he wanted to be on. So I appreciate it, because you've played Wasaga Beach, and Donna Langston, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that, because I think they've actually got one coming up here fairly soon, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they got a bunch of events throughout the year, but Frosty's Revenge is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks away, and then and then we've got the big game in the summer. Yeah, we can talk about some events happening.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I appreciate you jumping in and taking over for Steve. So, but we've got another guy in here tonight, because I like all of them. I like the NXL. I like the WCP. I just like all of them. If it's good for paintball, I'm all in, like I say. And tonight we've got Dylan on, and my buddy Andy says Dylan knows quite a bit about the NXL. And
he does.
Dylan is the rumor. That's the rumor.
Dylan would be with Denver Altitude, which is used to be Colorado Blitz. For those of you that follow the semi-pro division, they were hot on the heels of Paintball Fit and Blast Camp for that pro spot last year. That if you remember, we were watching because you were sitting right next to me when it happened at World Cup, Fred, when Paintball Fit won.
Oh, and, remember that's when they tried to throw me out, wasn't it?
I think that's actually about the time they were trying to. Literally, Jeff, we're sitting there right on the net in the VIP tent. Yeah. And, of course, we've got wristbands and stuff on. Yeah. This guy walks up to Fred, and he's like, can I see your wristbands? And we're like, yeah. He looks at Fred, and he's like, you're going to have to go. And I look, and we're like, what? And he's like, you don't have the right wristband on to be sitting here in these seats. And I turned around and looked at the security guy. I'm like, don't you know who this is? He looks down, and I'm like, this is Fred Schultz. And he looks back. He's like, oh, it is Fred Schultz. Never mind. You could stay there.
Yeah. So I was about ready to start crying too, man. And I got Andy laughing at me. And I'm like, oh, this is just bad. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But hey, let's bring Dylan out real quick. Hey, Dylan, welcome to the show, man. I appreciate you jumping in here tonight.
What's up? How you guys doing?
What's up, Dylan?
Yeah, we're doing good. So you don't hang out with Andy a bunch, do you?
I see him every weekend pretty much, because he's always down at Dynamic, and we see each other all the time.
Cool. We're not going to hold that against you.
Yeah, don't.
Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight. There's a lot of events coming up here, and I definitely want to start talking about them. And also, we've got Kenny, real quick, guys. We've got Kenny Stewart watching right now from the General Paintball Museum. And I'm going to have Kenny on here in a couple of weeks, because Kenny is putting something together so that we can get his museum to travel around to some of these events. But obviously, it's not cheap to do that. Nope. I want to have Kenny on, and I want to try to put something together and figure something out so we can give him a hand and, help him with some of the costs. Because, he went down to the World Cup, and that's probably like a $6,000 trip, and a lot of people don't realize this stuff. I mean, paintball last year, just traveling, I spent like over $20,000. So, it's not a cheap thing. And all I do is go hang out and play a little paintball with Andy,
Yeah, but you
So,
charged me and Jeff 40,000 to play for you. So how'd you spend 20?
hey, do not talk about the money. Oh man, now Jeff knows. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this. I've given some money to Kenny's fundraiser. If we get 200 people to give $20, we're done.
We're done. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and it's definitely worth it. Absolutely.
Did you stop in at the museum at the Cup, Dylan, when we were all down there?
I did. It was really cool.
I thought you were in there.
Yeah, we walked through the whole thing. I actually went to it a couple times, just because it was kind of, there's so much in there that it's hard to kind of take in all at once. So yeah, I checked it out a bunch of times while I was down there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very cool. And Kenny Stewart's probably one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet too. He's a terrific guy. So
yeah, and he'll answer any question that you got for him too.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff. I've got the WCPL tournament coming up at SC Village, and it's going to be March 23rd. And, it's going to be a one-day event. And then the next day, because it's on a Saturday, and then on Sunday, Gio says everybody that comes down and plays the event can go play SC. We're going to have a big game on Sunday at SC. So, yeah. So, it's kind of like a double thing. And whoever plays in the tournament, they have free entry into the big game then the next day. So that should be pretty cool. And Giovanni and I are going to do some we're going to do some pretty cool things this year. You're going to want to stay in touch because SC Village is it's one of the great places you want to go check out and see. Absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff he has on his fields are just it's mind-boggling, when you see it, you're just like, oh my God, it's just incredible. So we got some cool things coming up this year. You're going to want to stay in touch and maybe jump on SC Village, jump on their site and check it out. All kinds of cool things.
A bucket list of
it's amazing.
Every paintball player.
Did you see they opened up a gel ball thing last weekend? And they had gel ball. They had all the kids out there, and some of the pros were out there playing gel ball with the kids and stuff. And that's building paintball. That's how you do it, man. I absolutely love it.
Well,
so, yeah. And then Andy's going to the Dylan. Are you going to be going down? You're going to be in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be out there. The first event of the year. Super excited about it.
Yeah, very cool. I'll get to meet you face to face then. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll be out at the booth too and helping out there at the Alley Remembered booth. So, definitely would love to say hi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So the big question here, though, Dylan.
And Dylan, are you going to be for the award ceremony and everything, or?
The player party thing?
Yeah.
No, I work on a morning radio show, and it's really hard for me to take a lot of time off.
Got it.
So, yeah, I can't do that.
Oh, you going to be there Sunday night for the awards, or?
No, I'll be on a plane flight as soon as we're done winning the tournament.
There you go.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but let him know what's at stake, Dylan.
Yeah. Well, I'm coming in Saturday, so I think I'll still get a chance to meet you before you head out.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'd definitely love to say hi. But I mean, we're out there competing for a pro spot this year, so we really feel like this is the year that we have the best chance to do it. We're really excited to just tackle the season, see what we can do.
How many teams does Tommy have for that? Do you know?
In semi-pro, I think it actually kind of blew up this year. Just with PB Fit and Blast Camp leaving now, everybody feels like they have a chance to win the pro spot. So I think there's 32 teams. There might be a little bit more than that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a big division this year.
Who's your biggest competition, Dylan?
I would say Oology out of the Northwest. They're really good. I think that New York Wrecking Crew coming up out of D2, I think that they're definitely not going to be a team to sleep on, like just because they're new to semi-pro. They have a lot of funding, and they're just they got Marcelo coaching them, so that'll be a pretty good team. Leverage got Chris Caputo back, and Newbies, they got they lost Damian Vasquez, but they still have Carl Markowski. And some other very good players on that team. So those are the ones that we're really kind of looking at.
Wow, so you're going to have you'll have a full couple of days, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Especially getting into Sunday, that's going to be a grind getting through a lot of those teams.
Yeah, well, but you know what? And I'll tell you what's funny too, because I played pro for a lot of years, and any given day, you can take a team that nobody respects at all, and they can just come out and spank the best team in the world. So
Yeah,
it's
paintball's funny like that.
it is just
Right.
any sport. I mean,
Well, I mean,
let me say the Cowboys and the Packer game, but
Yeah, or I
well,
mean,
like,
it could even be like two players. Like one guy is maybe way better than the other, but you bounced the other guy, and his ball didn't bounce. That
mhm.
doesn't happen in any other sport but paintball.
nope, absolutely true. That's what used to be so cool about wearing the Vents goggles. I don't know if you know about those goggles back in the day, but they're called Vents. And I still think they were the best goggle ever made. But they had a rubber piece here, and the mask was all made out of rubber. And man, I got to tell you, you could hit with that thing, boom, and that ball would bounce right straight off. It
Oh,
was
I need a
it was
pair of those. Yeah.
it was incredible, man. Loved it. So, Andy, you're going to be doing a different time schedule this year for the Ellie Remember Foundation. Am I right?
Unfortunately, so normally we do it, later in the year. And this year, unfortunately, it coincides where I should be on the field with you playing in New York for the WCPL with the band.
Oh, you're going to be there?
Michael, no. So here's what's going on.
I know.
Michael Lear, who you met when you were out there last year for the event,
Yeah.
has to have back surgery. And Mike's actually on listening right now. And it got kind of pushed off. Well, now he's going to have to go and do that in June. And he's going to be laid up and possibly, immobilized, getting his back fused back together again for months and months. So we made the executive decision with us and Tom and him and Denver Altitude with Dylan and all the other teams we've got, Avalanche and everybody there at the field, to let's just move this and do it at the 1st of June before Mike has to go into surgery, because it'd just drive him nuts being laid up at home and leaving it to me and Tom and Dylan, for example, to set all this up and run the field. So not that we couldn't do it, because we could.
Yeah, but that event's his baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
so
a good way to put it, Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get set doing something, it's other guys can help you, but like you say, it's just something. It's like a passion after a while.
Yeah.
Yep. So no, we're going to put it on June 8th. Maybe it's the 15th now, because I think we had to move the date, because everybody wants to go down and play the ICPL 10-man with Colorado United. So just like we were talking on any given Sunday, we took a bunch of teams, or players, I should say, from all of our teams, went out to ICC last year, and one of the Colorado United teams, there's two of them and our Expendables, ended up winning the event with Jennifer Montresor out there. So they want to go down and try an ICPL, which will probably be the last time Mike gets to go and take the field, because it'll be right before his surgery. So I guess we'll move it to, I think it's the 15th now. That's the weekend of the WCPL. So
yeah.
Fortunately,
now, is that going to be the actual Ellie Remember Foundation event that you have every year?
Yeah, it'll be that one along with the autism, because remember we combined it.
Right.
We're doing for both. So
that sucks, because I was looking forward to coming back out there. I had such a good time last year, man.
Oh, I know. I was bummed, because I was like, but poor Mike. It's
No,
like,
I understand
okay.
that.
We'll give you a chance, Fred, though. We're going to do I was going to call you anyways. We are picking a date to do a special 4-man event where all of Dylan's guys on Denver Altitude are going to separate. We are going to let all the players that want to come to this thing register. And then the Thursday night before the event, we're going to do a random draw. So we'll pick 3 just random names, and
like the PBSL.
Yeah, just like the PBSL. It'll be like Team Dylan. He gets 3 random guys. And we have some other pro players, that reside here in Denver as well, that most of them have said, hell yeah, they'll do it too. And then we'll let them come out to the field on Saturday, practice up a little bit, have a little bit of fun. And then Sunday we'll run the 4-man with everybody. And it's, all going to be for bragging rights. So soon as I get that date, we want to give it to you. Maybe we can fly you out here and you can be one of those pro player with the team out there on the field if you want, because we're going to do that, and proceeds where most that's going to go to Denver Altitude and helping them out and helping out the other teams and us.
Very
and
cool.
Autism and everything else as well. So
I like that. Dylan, have you ever done that before, that format?
No, I haven't. But it sounds super fun, and I love teaching people how to play and like giving them pointers and all that stuff. So it sounds like it'll be a really good time.
Let me tell you, the first time I seen that was I went up and these guys had it, and they threw a bunch of cards out, right? And you don't know who you're going to play with, and what a way to meet people and just have a great time, because there's no pressure on. It's like a big game, You just go out, you just want to have fun shooting people, and then move on from there. It's not like anything really good you're going to win, but you don't know who you're going to play with. And everybody, that first time I seen it happen, everybody that got together when it was done, they all had new friends because they didn't know who they were going to play with, and they were all having a great time. It was like a huge party at the very end. I just absolutely love the format.
Yeah, that's also a big reason why we want to do it, because we're kind of a newer team at this specific field. And it feels like a good way to kind of integrate with everyone, get to know them a little bit better, and like you're saying, make some new friends.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's and it's a lot of fun too, cut and dry. So, Jeff, my friend, now, I know Wasaga Beach has got one coming up. When is that? I think you got the Frosty in a couple of weeks. You guys can be playing in the snow.
Yeah, Frosty's Revenge is March 16th. You never know what you're going to get for weather in the middle of March. It could be above freezing or it could be below freezing. So,
yeah, but you mentioned freezing twice, so
right.
So above ain't going to be too much warmer. I would expect. I would be playing that, but I'd be looking like the Michelin Man. I'd have about.
Unfortunately, I can't make that event. Some of the guys are going, like Martin and Pazzi, and a few of the other guys are talking about going, but it might be at last minute.
There you go.
If it's too cold, we've done it. We used to have an event way back in the day. You ask Cliff or some of the other guys that have been around a while. A Nightmare in the Snow. I mean, you'd be playing when it would be 10 below. It was 20 below. It was cold.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I hear Wasaga Beach is a heck of a field, though. And I know Donna Langston, I'm going to have her on the show one time. I haven't had her on yet, but I texted her and told her that I would definitely have her on sometime in the future here. But I hear it's a heck of a field.
Yeah, it's an amazing field. They do several events throughout the year. The big game in the summer in August. That's probably one of the biggest events in Canada, if not the biggest event. It's a 3-day event. This year, it's August 16th, 17th, and 18th. We can get upwards of 700 players to the big game for that. So that would be a bucket list one for anybody that wants to come up to Canada to play. It's an amazing facility, an amazing field. They've got huge indoor. They used to have an indoor field or use it as a field, but it's big pro shop. They have indoor space for vendors and stuff. It's a huge field when they open it up for the big game.
Do you know much about the DMZ in Ontario?
That is
man.
That's Cliff, by the way, Fred.
Oh, is it?
I
got Ryan Courtney, I got James McGoffick, I got Rick Wilcox, and everybody else's Facebook user. I'd have to look on my phone.
It'd be better to have Cliff on to probably talk about some of these events because he roughs them all. But I have not played at DMZ. We've got some other events coming up as well.
Can you name them?
Let me just pull them up here. Ultimate Paintball is in Milton, so it's just on the other side of Toronto. They have several events. Last year was supposed to be the last year for that field. They got a 1-year extension on it, which is good. It's a fun field to play. We go out every year and play one or two of their big games. They've got one coming up on March the 9th. It's the Operation Snowball. It's a MagFed only event, so it's going to be snowy and cold for that. Then they've got another one called The Last Thaw coming up on Saturday, March the 30th. That is an excellent event. Another one close to where we go every year, Georgina Paintball. It's a really nice field as well. They've got different. They've got one. It's like a lot of woods fields and stuff, but they got one field that's all like boats and stuff. It's really cool. They've got an event coming up, Operation Infection, on May the 25th. You get a couple of hundred players for that easily every year. And
How close are these fields together?
Well, I mean, in Ontario, we've got several fields. You're usually within about a 3-hour drive, depending on where you're coming from.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and then Operation D-Day is coming up in June. I think June 2nd. So I don't know if I can't remember if that's the week before or 2 weeks before your WCPL event. But it's always a big event as well. You get several hundred players out for that. Like the D-Day event in Ottawa. That would be the field where, if you're ever to bring a WCPL event to Canada, that or Wasaga would be. They've got the space, they've got the facilities. So,
well, we're thinking about doing that next year. Actually, we've had offers from up in Canada, and we've also had offers from Mexico too. But we're still trying to get our footprint here in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get this all straightened out first before we go jumping up there. Just like I had it set up for the tournament in February, and then I was going to have boat wars because there was so much rain here. It flooded everything out, and I was going to have it down at SC, and the field flooded out. It was just a horrible amount of rain, so we had to postpone it. Now it's going to be it's going to be like what? A week and a half, 2 weeks after the NXL. It's going to be 2 weeks before Danny's tournament in Florida. So it's kind of getting jammed up a little bit now. But we'll get it figured out. It's all you can do. And then Dylan, now that's your home field now? Mike's field?
Yeah, Denver Altitude's home field is dynamic paintball, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mike's a great guy. I mean, what a terrific owner too,
Yeah, he's a great guy to work with, and we're really happy to be out there. Their whole staff is great.
I can honestly say I pulled a flag on that field, baby. Yeah, that's
really,
right.
You did. I was there.
That's right. In that big game. You would have loved it, Dylan.
I'm out at the rec ball side.
Yeah.
Or yeah,
where the bus and everything is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Andy goes, "Stay with me, Fred," and they go, and I bend down to tie my shoe, and I look up, and there's nobody there. So I walk up, and I'm walking, I hear all the gunfire, and so I'm going up and shooting my way up, and I get behind this pallet, right, and there's just me and this kid, and there's a fort right there, and these guys are shooting out of the fort, and the flag's right in the open. So I tell this kid, I go, "When I say now, just start spraying that wall, and I'll pull the flag." So I go now, and I run out and I grab the flag. I get about 10 feet out of the flag station, and they just light me up. The kid never fired a shot. He's still sitting back there like this.
Oh.
But I pulled that bad boy.
Awesome.
You can't get him when we're playing, Jeff, but he can get him when he's out here. I don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a great time. It was I was really looking forward to coming back and doing that, and going back to Red Rock again too. My wife and I definitely loved doing that. I thought that was just that place awed me when I went there. It was just absolutely cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there, and it's actually it's won the best small venue of the country award so many times that they're not allowed to win it anymore. It's just called the Red Rocks Award now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I went down because we went down to the museum and stuff like that. First of all, the rocks and everything, I love it out in the mountains. I used to gold dredge and stuff like that. So the mountains are a big thing for me. I'm a city kid, but I love it going out there. And when I went up there and I seen the rock formations and how that was put together, the only problem was there was no concert that day. I wanted to hear a band play and just hear how the acoustics are there. And so we go down into their, I don't know, I call it their museum. And man, I got to tell you, anybody played there. The Beatles. I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. So I would love to hear the acoustics during a concert there.
It
Have
sounds
either one of
very
you guys
interesting.
been?
It's pretty
You been there
crazy.
during one?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Denver. So I've been. I mean, I saw. This is a little embarrassing, but I saw Hanson there for like my first Red Rocks concert. I don't know if you remember like Mbop. I've seen Wu Tang Clan there. A lot of like rap artists. I've seen Foo Fighters. Just a lot of different people.
Wow. So,
Ozzy
so the
Osbourne.
are as good as they say then, huh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It sounds amazing, and I mean, I'm in the radio industry, so I know audio, and
Right.
it sounds great.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was beyond impressed, and that's why I was looking forward to going back there this year because I told my wife, I go, when we go there next year, I'm going to plan it so that there's some kind of concert there, and I don't care who's playing. That there could be a damn opera. I could care. I wanted to go hear the thing, But now Andy goes and changes it on me, so now I got hope for the four man.
Donna Langman's watching the show. You should send her the invite, and she can come and tell you about the events.
Well, I'm going to have Donna on. Yeah, I'm going to have her on here. Yeah, maybe in a few weeks. But you're a very good spokesman for her. Steve is going to be on tonight, Steve McGuire, but he's got some technical problems tonight. And he told me, he goes, well, I'll put you on my show tomorrow night. And he says, and you can yell at me live. So I'd rather yell at him on my show.
We've been playing Donna's Field since the late '80s. So,
well, you know what? Ever since I hooked up with you guys, and I've hooked up with you guys years ago, not you specifically, but the Booney Boys. I got to tell you, that's all they talked about was Wasaga Beach. That's how much they really love that place. So, and when you talk to people about, what's a cool feel in Canada, what comes up first? Always Wasaga Beach comes up. Yep. That is number one. And then everybody respects the owners too. Donna and her husband, I just haven't heard anything bad about the field, the owners, the way it's run, none of it. So, if that doesn't make you want to go there, then something's wrong with you, period. So, Dylan, I'll tell you a real quick story. The Booney Boys, have you ever heard of them?
I have not actually.
Okay, we have now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Who's the Booney Boys?
Yeah, the Booney Boys, they're a team up there in Canada, and they've been around for a long, long time. Okay. And I went up there years ago and played in the Dome. My pro team I had was Constant Pursuit. And we used to play us and the Ironmen. We all kind of lived together around here. And Dynasty, Oliver Lang and Alex Frazier and all those guys, they all live around here by me. So we all played and practiced together all the time. What's that?
The Iron Kids.
The Iron Kids, yeah. And so, we all played. Those guys started on my field, actually. So anyhow, so we all kind of played and practiced together and everything. So I took a 5-man and went up and played at the Dome up there in Canada. And there was another team, and they were called the Booney Boys, and they were rocking and we were rocking. So I got to sit there and talk to them, and they were just some of the nicest guys I ever wanted. I mean, Martin was one of them, I believe, wasn't he, Jeff?
Yep.
I can't pronounce his last name, but Martin M, I'll call him. But yeah, him and Andy. I think Andy was another one. And anyhow, there was 5 of them. And so I told them, I says, guys, I says, how about I fly you guys down and I'll take 5 of my CP guys and you take 5, your 5 guys, and let's put us together and go have some fun and play a tournament. So I flew them down, I think twice. We went and played Chicago and I believe the World Cup too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And we had an absolutely great time. And that was lifelong friends. And now Jeff is part of the Booney Boys. And, one thing, Dylan, I always talk about on my show is, if it wasn't for paintball, there's a lot of people that you would never, ever get to meet and actually call friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And, like the big games and the tournaments and stuff like that, if there was not big games and tournaments for paintball and you didn't go to these things, good chance you wouldn't see your friends at all that year.
Yeah, I
know?
was literally joking around at practice on Sunday. Actually, I was like, "This is the only way I know how to make friends. I don't know how to do anything else." So yeah, I definitely agree with that. And
Yeah.
Because
we
that's the
play
only place you are.
the Royal City Sea Dogs. They're out of Canada. A lot of them are from the like a collection of people from the Ontario Paintball League, and they're all really nice guys. And they're just they're hyper competitive. They're super fun to play paintball against. So yeah, I know some of the people out of that league.
Oh, hey, have you heard of them, Jeff?
Heard of who? Sorry,
The Royal City Sea Dogs.
I don't know that group. I mean, I don't play the OPL. I'm way too old. That's speedball young guys games.
Okay.
But we have a couple of guys on our roster that play in the OPL and play with different teams. So yeah, I 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I would have done that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
Dylan,
They're
we're
all really
old.
good though.
Yeah,
See, we're old, Dylan. We remember when you were a kid out there playing the Caps tournaments when I was running them.
Yeah.
now look
I
at
met
you
Andy
now.
when I was 12.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
34
you don't look
now,
much
just for
older than
reference.
you don't look much older than that now.
Yeah.
That's why we play, on the band for Fred.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
yeah,
we're
that's like
old.
Jurassic Park with us,
Yeah.
Oh man, that's pretty cool though. I got to tell you, Dylan, you took the time to come on here tonight too. And it was like a last minute thing. I was talking to Andy in the green room, and Andy goes, "Yeah," he says, "I played the NXL, yada yada." And so your team, how long have you guys been together? First, let me ask you that.
Well, I've been running this team for 7 years. I think
7 years.
we're going into our 8th year right now. We started in D4 together. I think I'm actually the only one left from that team, from the D4 team. But then D3 team, there was me and Brady. And then the D2 team, we just kind of started picking people up. We got Scordo. And we got CJ Chambers that he joined us when we were in Division 2. He's from Boom, um, and just he's lived in Colorado his whole life. And then we've spent 3 years in semi-pro.
When did you start playing D2?
I played D2 in 2019.
19. Oh, so you've been
Yeah.
at it a while.
Yeah. The last time I played Division 2 tournament was the NXL before COVID happened.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, did you ever get a chance to go up to Canada and do any playing up there yet, or no?
No, I haven't. I do. One of our old teammates who played on our team, his name's Goo. He used to play up at Skyball and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But he was
that's
from
what we're
Buffalo.
talking about.
Yeah.
That Skyball goes back too. That was
Yep.
I'll never forget the first time we played there too. They had they had to blow up bunkers, Dylan, but they weren't holding air.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, you'd run up to this bunker and you'd hit it and you would fall into it because they just weren't holding air.
That's when they had like the seam and the internal motor thing, right?
I don't know what they had, but they weren't
Okay.
working, right? But we went through it, and then the next year, I think it was Andy. Was it Andy or Martin had the idea to use tractor tires and put things over the tractor tires?
Yeah, that was Bobby.
Bobby
Doust.
Durst.
Yeah,
Yep.
Bobby Doust. Yep.
And yeah, he had the idea to do that, and then everything worked out good. But boy, and then they had the first year, they had synthetic turf down on the field, and as the tournament went on, it was like
slick.
playing on
Slippery.
ice. It was extreme. I mean, you could run and slide. You get down on your knees. You could slide 25 feet. It was just like playing on snot. It was, yeah, well, that's a better word, I guess. But yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we used to have an indoor field here called 303. And it had, I think it was actually just carpet, but that stuff, once it got paint on it, man, you could slide for like just ever. Like just go and you just slide to the 50.
Yeah, this was actual turf that they used. So, what is turf? Nylon. It's just that's what it's made out of,
Yeah.
And man, I got to tell you, that stuff is pretty slick, but it was pretty cool playing in the dome. I did it twice.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely thought it was very cool. That's where I met Steve McGuire, actually. He was just a kid, and I was doing pretty good. I wasn't sliding a lot because I had Reeboks. I was wearing Reeboks, and they were holding pretty good. And he came up and asked me what I was wearing, and then he ran down to a Reebok store and bought a pair. So, I mean, I don't remember.
Do you stay in the rooms there, Fred?
Did I what?
Do you stay in the hotel rooms like we would always do?
No, they got me. God, the room I had was just gorgeous. It was in one of the high-rise motels downtown, overlooking the city. I mean, and I was all by myself too, you know. And I walk in, this room was just gorgeous. So no, I didn't stay in the Sky Dome itself. Is that where you stayed?
That was the best. Yeah, we'd stay in because you could watch all the games from your room because they had balconies. So we just sit out there with balconies and binoculars and, make up our field boards and to put who's going to what and the positions they were breaking out to because we had a bird's eye view of all the fields at once. So each guy just took one field and we'd map out what all the other teams were doing before we went down and played them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my sponsors, I never made any reservations back then. My sponsors, they handled everything for me. So I would just go and have a good time. But I know I absolutely loved that. That was it was beyond cool. So,
hey, by the way, is Chris in the green room?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was going to get him into the green room so we could hear about legends out in Hawaii. That just happened yesterday.
They had like 76 or 80 some people. What really sucks too is last year I was going to do it, but I had the tournament that was a week before. Okay, the Southern California tournament. So this year I also had the Southern California tournament, so I didn't make any reservations to go there. And then I had to cancel it, like 5 or 6 days before the tournament because everything flooded out down there because of all the rain and stuff we had. So then Jessica Cortez, she watches the show all the time, but she's in Hawaii and she got a hold of me, and she's like, so I guess this means you're going to be coming to Hawaii, but it was already too late. I didn't want to go ahead and I'm still trying to deal with stuff around here. It's still raining out here, So at least we don't have to shovel the rain. I actually do like that part of it, I mean, yeah.
Hey, the tournament season's coming though.
Yeah,
just because we were on that topic for like Midwest paintball, for example, the EXL, which I believe is in Kansas, right, Don? I think
yes,
it's in Kansas.
Yeah, I think it's in Salinas.
Salina, yeah. Their first event's coming up on 16th and 17th of March. And that series goes all the way through to October. A great field owner again, Fred, out there as well.
Yeah, really solid regional event for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, got Gino watching right now. What's going on,
Hey,
Gino?
what's up, boss man? The XTPL
Velkin.
is the what?
I was just saying, Gino Velkin.
Velkin.
Yeah, it took me forever to learn to pronounce his last name, so I call him Gino Velkin now. And then I've got my mock-up of Gino right here. I had that specially made. So.
Yeah, the nutcracker. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks just.
Work for him. I know.
Just like him. Yeah. Oh, Gino is a nutcracker. Love the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the XTPL that going on in that's down in Texas, right?
Texas, yeah.
Yep. That series looks like it's starting off. When's he doing it?
Who's running that one down there? Is that Tank?
I think that's a PB Fit, right?
PB Fit.
Yeah.
They start February.
Is that at Wrangel's Field?
No, that's
Wrangel's Field is
Fit. That's JD.
Okay.
Your knee pads?
Yeah.
Yeah, he owns that field.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
So
Gio owns that field down there.
Have you ever seen JD's field down there?
No, not yet. I wanted to go down and see Tank's field, and
it's a world-class field.
Is it?
Yeah.
And Chris Rangel, he's got that. That's Gio's field, but Chris Rangel runs it down there. But that's Giovanni's. He owns SC, and he owns like 4 or 5 different fields actually.
Well, speaking of Chris,
were we?
Bunker Fest got canceled for the series this year. I don't know if
come?
you saw that. He
No, I
had to
didn't.
cancel it.
How come?
He had low
He
sign
just
up, I think is what he said.
Is that what it was?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the problem nowadays. And any given weekend, there's like 10 things going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the only drawback. Back in the day, Dylan, you're way too young to remember this, but back in the day, there was you could count the fields in the U.S. on your hand, just about. That's how many fields are out there, and there was less stores. It was, you'd jump in your car and you'd drive a long ways to get it to a field, because when we started, we played on vacant lots. We played on any place there was woods. We would jump in, and that was the field.
Yeah, I was really
Mhm.
fortunate to grow up in, when I did, because I got to play at Paintball Adventures. That's where I met Andy and, a bunch of other people. And then right when I started playing is when they started NPPL Super 7. I started playing the last year of 10 man. So I played like 1 year of that and then just went right into Super 7 is kind of when I started playing.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to help start the MPPL. I made a lot of the calls to get the teams together to actually set that up. It was a very interesting 3 days, I can tell you that much.
Yeah, but you want to know a secret, Dylan?
Yeah.
Fred's first car didn't actually have anything underneath. He pedaled it with his feet, and he'd usually pull it next to the light next to Fred Flintstone. Just saying.
That's why my shoes were so thick.
Yep.
I had to stop that bad boy somehow. Yeah, absolutely. So, back in the day, it was a trip. But I'm really happy the way paintball is now. I just wish there was a little bit less of the infighting with everybody. Because you get some teams that play at a field, and the field goes, well, you can't go play at this field, and that kind of stuff I wish would stop. And because I'm all about building paintball. That's what I've done ever since I've got into the sport and got so passionate about it, man. I've worked my butt off to try to build a sport and make it bigger and better, like I always say in my things. I I don't even know if you know about me, Dylan. You probably have never even heard about me.
I've heard the name, but I don't know the whole history of it.
Yeah, I've had the number one show on MTV, Road Rules. I've had the number one show on ESPN. I shot it right on New York Street in Disneyland. I've had the number one video out there, sold 1 million copies, the Fun of Paintball with Fred Schultz. So I've been around.
Dylan, he had people bring in APG magazines and paintball sports and everything to the charity event at Dynamic last year, if I remembered. And he was just standing there with a Sharpie. That's why he only pulled one flag, because he was too busy signing autographs, because everybody was in all their old magazines. And then it's like, oh, okay, never mind, Fred. You just stay here in the shade and sign autographs.
Yeah.
I got to go see some people.
I actually pulled 2 flags, Dylan, if you count the one I took out of Andy's car. There was 2. So, but it's I like people that are good for paintball. That's one reason I really like Andy is not for his attitude, because it sucks, but
sucks.
what he does for paintball is terrific. And and the Ali Remember Foundation, how he interweaves that with the sport, it makes people that don't play paintball kind of recognize paintball through organizations like that. So I just that's one thing I really respect, and I love it. Don't get me wrong.
It's a great organization.
He messes
we're
with me
super
bad.
happy to be partnered with them.
Well, something we're doing
he's a
like
good
Fred
guy.
this year. Well, for Denver Altitudes now a member team, so they'll be playing semi-pro in the NXL and then playing, representing Alley Remembered, and we're totally honored and excited about that. But
same here.
With Mike
I'm
out
actually
at the field,
I'm actually gonna start following your team now, Dylan.
There you go.
All right, yeah. I love it. Yeah,
absolutely. And maybe sometime in the future, you and a couple of your guys on the team could jump on, and we talk about your team, and maybe some of the other sponsors that watch the show might be interested in giving you guys a hand too. You never know.
Yeah,
There you
we'd love to. And our big sponsors right now are Dizana. They give us soft goods and stuff. They have great soft goods for good prices. Defy Paint, and Dynamic Paintball and Alley Remembered. And they all are amazing organizations to work with. We're very happy to have them as sponsors.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, they sound like good organizations. They really do. That's why I'm looking forward to this summit down there in Las Vegas, Andy. I wish you
Mhm.
could stay a
I
little
wish I
longer.
could go to it. I think it's really important for paintball to have something like that. Just to,
Big time.
build on the history of it. Like every other sport has a Hall of Fame, so we should be having stuff like that. And if we want to legitimize the sport, stuff like this is important to have.
Yeah, we have a Hall of Fame. There's a paintball Hall of Fame, right?
I'm gonna eat my foot now. No, I didn't.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
get
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
there's absolutely a paintball Hall of Fame. I got my plaque someplace here, but yeah, there's absolutely a paintball Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Most of the guys that play on our team, Dylan, the band,
Yeah,
are all Hall of Famers, except
Yeah.
for like me and Jeff Thompson.
Yeah, nobody's.
He just pays us because he's got to have younger guys that can
yeah.
actually make it to the 50.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. My 50 is like the 20. I'm good.
Oh, even that Bud Orr's even watching.
Yeah, I know. Well, Bud, I put Bud on almost every week. Bud Orr. I can never say enough about Bud Orr. Bud and I go back almost 40 years. Bud and I've done all kinds of things together over the years. Dylan, you know Bud Orr, right?
Yeah. I know,
Cool.
but my first good gun was an autococker. So yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yep.
Yeah, Bud's, he's one of my best friends. Him and Tim Schloss and Dan Colby. Tim Schloss has Tiger Stripe Camouflage and Gateway Paintball. Dan Colby has Immortal Air. But back in the day, they had Air America. They've been my sponsors for like 34, 35 years. So, those are some of my best friends in paintball. Bud, all these guys, Dylan, it's hard to tell people. I wish I could take all the youngsters nowadays and time warp them back into the day and see just how much money, time, and effort these guys spent in the sport of paintball. So at the beginning of my show every week, I list them. And the reason I do that is for the simple fact is I want all the youngsters nowadays to understand what these guys really did to make the sport what it is.
Mhm.
Paintball might still be here, Dylan, but I guarantee it would not be here even close to the way it is now. And it's all because of these guys: Bud Orr, Tim Schloss, Dan Colby, Ross Alexander, Jim Lively, Jerry Brown. All of these guys are terrific guys, and they work their butts off for paintball. Am I right, Andy?
Yeah, and Ross lives up in Boulder because obviously me and Dylan are in Colorado. In case you didn't know, Dylan, Bud Orr and Dan Colby are on the board of directors for Alley
I
Remembered.
did know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys because even like Gino's watching, right?
Yeah,
So,
Gino watches every week. I'll take some.
back in the
You know who
day,
Gino is, Dylan, right?
Yeah, he owns Valken, which I
Yeah.
think he used to also be National Paintball.
Yeah.
Used to be,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, him and Rick Fairbanks used to have national paintball. Matter of fact, I've got a jacket.
Gino started paintball by selling paint out of the don't crucify me, Gino, because I'm trying to get it right, out of the pizza shop, and got his first case of paint from Guy Cooper, which is who I work for at ProStar Sports.
Yep.
And because we had our we were doing paint, we had a wholesale here, so we continued working as Gino got bigger and bigger. We kept working with him, and we were basically had his inventory and all that stuff here in Denver, where we wholesaled and shipped it out all across, and sold starter packages for the whole 9 yards. But so guys like Gino and Rick Fairbanks and Jeff Perlmutter and a lot of these other guys, they might have been at each other's throats here and there and different things. And you had Bud and Dan, man, these guys all making stuff. The other guys were selling it and everything.
You know how Dan got started? You know how Danny got the idea for Air America?
He's doing
no,
it
actually.
From Tom K. Him and Tommy were there one day, and Tom K was my sponsor, Air Gun Designs, Dylan, for a lot of years. Matter of fact, he gave me some good money to put towards my show and everything like that. But yeah, make a long story short, he's the one that told Dan Colby that to make a air regulator that would be good for the markers that were coming out then, and that's how Danny started Air America. And like I say, you could sit there and you could talk about this stuff for days. Bud Orr, Dennis Tipman. I don't know if you know Dennis Tipman. He passed away now, but he was.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was a terrific guy. He also gave me money to do my shows. But anyhow, Bud Orr, Dennis Tipman, and Tom Kay, they would all get together in a motel room and they would sit, and they would never sit and fight with each other. Oh, you can't copy this. They would give each other ideas. And if you go back in the day, Dennis Tipman had a great marker. Let me start right there. But it was great for rentals. Okay.
Right.
It was the toughest rental gun you could ever get. But competition, there was Air Gun Designs, which had the Automag, and War Game Products, which was Bud's, and they had the Autococker. Those were the two markers back in the day that ruled for many years. And then, pretty soon other things came out. The Angel came out and stuff like that. But you sit and you look at today, what is still out there? The Autococker and the Automag. Now, there's a lot of other markers out there, obviously, but these guys have stood the time. I mean, the test of time is still with them.
Do people still seek out autocockers too, like good autocockers?
Oh, big time.
Like they'll get all super into building custom ones, and
they're
a fun platform.
Yeah, that's what I shoot right now. Is I shoot the autococker, and I had Cesar Pizzo. He put the boom treatment on it for me, the Ultra Silk, and that thing just hums like a sewing machine, man. Just absolutely love it.
Our team owner, John Vickers, he actually has 30 autocockers just sitting in his basement right now, just because he loves to tinker with them and all that stuff.
How cool is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell you, guys, we ran our hour. I'm going to start with you, Dylan. I'd like to invite you to come back on a show again sometime.
Anytime, man. Just
let me start there with you, and maybe talk about your team, and maybe have some of your teammates on, and see if we can't get your name out there a little bit more than what it is.
I'd love to, and I can definitely get those guys to come on as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to up front thank you so much for taking the time to come on here tonight, my friend. So I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody.
Sorry?
I said I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody then.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. I just want to give a quick shout out. Allie remembered, Dynamic Paintball, Dizana, and Defy Paint. Thank you for helping out Denver Altitude.
Very cool. All right, Dylan, you have a good evening, my friend.
You too.
Thanks, buddy.
Right. Later, Dylan.
He was a great choice, Andy. I just like meeting people I think that are good for the sport, and he's very articulate, and he did a terrific job. I'm actually looking forward to having him back on again.
It's fun listening because he's on a local radio station here in Denver. So you've got the two main DJs, and he's in the background. And right before tournaments and stuff, BJ and Jamie will start talking about you playing that paintball, and they'll start talking about events and things. And Dylan's, there's a lot with the FCC you could say, can't say, et cetera, but he does a superb job about talking about paintball and what it is, and saying paintball and things like that, because it's a local, very popular radio station in the Denver, market.
And that's what the sport needs. See,
exactly.
That's the kind of people I like rolling with, just like that right there. That's what the sport needs, because those are the kind of guys that'll work really hard, and people will listen to them and make the sport bigger and better. Jeff, you're next. I can't thank you enough for jumping in. I wanted somebody that played Wasaga Beach to talk about it a little bit, but then you went and mentioned all the other events that are coming up, and that was outstanding, my friend.
Well, you give me more than 5 minutes notice next time, and I'll have a better presentation for you.
Oh, I don't think I gave you the full 5. It was more like 2. I thought you did an absolutely great job, because Steve had technical problems at the last minute, but I wanted somebody that knew Donna, and had played the field, and you were even better than that because you were talking about other fields and other events also that are coming up. So I think that was great for Canadian paintball, my friend.
Oh yeah. Come on up and play with Sega. You got to try it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'd actually like to do that. I'd actually like to come up and go shoulder to shoulder with you and go out and play a big game. I think that'd be fun. When is their big game? Not the cold one.
August 16th. August 16th is the big game.
August 16th. See, I got my tournaments, I think, August 5th and 6th or something like that.
Or August 17th. Yeah. Sorry, it's the Saturday. Yeah, well, it's the 3-day event. So they do the big game on the Saturday. They do like a pump game on the Sunday. They have a pig roast and a big dinner and some one-on-one with the Tipexes on the Friday night. So it's a full 3-day thing. It's pretty fun.
I'd like to do the Friday and Saturday thing. I think that'd be cool, and I could fly home Sunday then.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. Well, buddy, Jeff, I thank you so much for taking the time to come on here tonight.
Anytime.
You did Canadian paintball justice tonight, my friend. You really did.
All right, gentlemen.
He just does paintball justice, period. That's my teammate talking to.
Yeah, he does. I know.
All right, appreciate you guys.
All right, brother. You stay safe, my friend.
Take care.
Later, Jeff.
All right, everybody. Mr. Jeff Thompson, Booney Boys. First of all, Jeff is a superior guy.
Oh, yeah.
Second of all, I love the Booney Boys, so he's hooked up with a good team. And third of all, I really love the band, so he's hooked up with 2 damn good teams.
It's Martin we got to watch out for, though.
I love Martin.
We love Martin, too.
He's crazy. Him and Andy, man, they're crazy. I love them guys.
I love all of them.
Yep, me too. Andy, I there's never enough thanks for you. You do a lot for me, and it's very, very well appreciated. And what you do for the sport of paintball, I think more people need to understand exactly what you do behind the scenes to bring people, at least make people aware of the sport of paintball, even if they don't play it. That's a big thing, making people aware of it and liking it. So,
well, it's making, people aware of the sport, but with Allie Remembered being a domestic and teen dating violence nonprofit, we use paintball as a tool to help people cope and get through trauma and deal with pain by bringing kids and stuff into play and things like that. Because Lord knows, going through what I go through when I step out on the field and go out to dynamic for the day, I forget everything else. Yeah. And your mind needs that kind of a break, but at the same time, we're out there, pushing this and pushing that message. So all you parents out there, if you think you've got kids that are having a rough time or maybe involved in a dating violence issue, hit us up. We'll give you some advice and help out on whatever means necessary, type of a thing. It's all about keeping people safe, because paintball players are family people too. So doesn't matter if you play paintball or not. We're trying to help everybody, but hey, big target audience to work for, and we love our paintball family. So what can I say?
Bingo. Well, Andy, let's say goodbye to everybody, but thanks again for jumping on tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, Kat. You can count on me. Except for New York, because I'll be running the event that day. But don't worry, I'll got you the rest of the events.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks in Vegas. So I come in on Saturday. So as soon as I get, where are you staying at? I'm at the Sahara.
I might make reservations. I have a good friend of mine that you'll meet that's a retired Vegas PD, so I stay with him.
Okay.
At his house. I don't have to pay for hotels and stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
But I will be at the event. We will have the MacDev tent up. Well, they'll be the Allie Remembered MacDev tents, because they're a huge supporter of Allie Remembered. And they need to have a booth
at the trade show. Do you have a booth at the trade show?
No, I haven't decided. I might try to stick around Monday and go to the trade show and maybe come back Tuesday. But we'll definitely have the booth up there at the event at NXL. So if you have a MacDev marker and you need to get it fixed, then come in and see me. We'll take care of it. Freddy will be there as well. You've already met him.
Yeah.
Denver altitude guys.
I come in on Saturday. How far is the field from where the motel is?
Oh, it's not far. You're already down on that end of the strip, and the where the field is at Gaelic Park, not Gaelic Park. whatever the name of the park is. It's probably 15, maybe 20 minute, not even that much, probably like 15 minutes, give or take. Because it's all on that side of town, down towards the old part of Las Vegas.
Got it.
So field's over by Nellis Air Force Base, if you know where that is.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
So it's all on that side. So you're good.
All right, brother. You have a good evening.
Right on.
You stay safe.
You do the same. Peace. Play hard. Play fair. Play safe.
Oh, you're killing me.
Yeah.
Right on, Andy.
Later.
Everybody, Mr. Andy Starrett. I got to tell you, if you ever get a chance to hang out with him, you're going to want to do it because he's a joy. He's he's pretty funny on the show here, but when you're with him, he's a kick in the pants. Believe me. Very, very, very funny guy. So I appreciate everybody watching. I hope we made you aware of some great events that are coming up because, we need to all support all the events. I'm one of them guys that I have no particular thing. I'm one of the owners of the WCPL. Do I love it? Absolutely. But do I love the NXL? Absolutely. If it's good for paintball, I'm all in. So I appreciate you watching. Until next Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook, on Flagpole Production. Please play hard, play safe, play fair. Get out there and play some paintball. All right? Bye now.